Hey guys, Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Hope you guys are enjoying the recipes. Today it's Thanksgiving Day here in Canada, so I've just done taking out the turkey out of the oven, and I thought I'd share a quick video clip with you guys for making your own homemade cranberry sauce, as well as one of the most fantastic stuffing you'll ever have. Chris here, Caribbean Pot. As I said, I thank you guys for supporting me through the couple of years we've been online now. Thanksgiving Day is not traditional in the Caribbean, however, we call North America home now. So I'm going to share that recipe with you guys. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, please show your appreciation. I'm sweating. I can't believe how hot it is in the kitchen. Show your appreciation, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe. Above you'll see the subscribe link. Please subscribe to the channel. Any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Here we go, guys. Your own homemade cranberry sauce, as well as one of the most outstanding stuffing you'll ever have. Oh yeah, here we go, guys. The gravy is going on the pot there as well. I'm multitasking today, I tell you. For the cranberry sauce, what I've got here, I've got in this a fairly deep saucepan. I'm going to be putting it on a medium-high heat. But in the saucepan, what I have here is 3 cups of fresh cranberries. If you can't get fresh cranberries, feel free to use frozen cranberries. But there's 3 cups in there, as well as 1 apple, your typical eating apple that I peeled, cored, and I diced up into small pieces. To that, we're going to be adding, I've got here half a cup of orange juice, half a cup of brown sugar, as well as half a cup of port. It's going to give it a nice holiday kick to this. And to give it a little bit, I mean to say, in the Caribbean we don't normally have cranberry sauce, but as times change and our eating habits change, I'm sure there's a lot of people eating cranberry sauce down in the Caribbean now. To give it that sort of Caribbean kick, what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish it off with a little dash of ground allspice. In Jamaica it's called pimento, but anyways, I'm going to give it a little dash of ground allspice. So here we go, guys. Let's get making this cranberry sauce. We're going to put this onto a medium-high heat, and we're going to add all the ingredients that I mentioned here. With all of the ingredients in the saucepan now, all I want to do is give it a good stir and keep stirring it gently until it comes to a sort of a vigorous boil. At that point, we're going to turn the heat down a bit and let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to start breaking down, and the cranberries are going to start to split, and it's going to start to get thick. That's when you think you have the desired consistency that you want, that's when you're going to take it off the stove. It's been on the medium-high heat now, and as you can see in the corners there, it's sort of a vigorous boil. For about 5 minutes or so it's been going. I'm going to give this, turn down the heat a little, continue stirring it until it gets to the consistency. It's going to start breaking down until it starts getting to the consistency that I want. Then I'm going to turn off the heat. So I'm guessing it's going to be another 5 to 7 minutes before we get there. It's been on the flame now for about, I believe, 12 minutes, and it's pretty much going down to the consistency of jam. And once it gets thick enough for you, what you're going to do is turn off the stove, place it into the bowl that you're going to be serving it in, and place it into the refrigerator to cool down. Remember, you want this to be nice and chilled. The other thing I want to mention, guys, you can see the pieces of apple didn't really melt as much because I like that little bit of texture to the finished sauce. If you don't like that texture, feel free to cut up your apples in tiny pieces so it all melts away, or use a sort of a cooking apple. This was just a regular eating apple that I had in the refrigerator. So all I'm going to do now is give this a couple more minutes for it to get a little bit more thicker. Then I'm going to put it into the dish and put it into the refrigerator. So this is the final cranberry sauce that I made, guys. It's so nice and thick and full of body it is. It's been cooling in the fridge now for a few hours just before we start to serve it. So here we go. Cranberry sauce, homemade, guys. Next up on this Thanksgiving special here that I'm doing for you guys is stuffing, a homemade stuffing. Over the years we've been using the packaged stuff, and finally I gave up on that simply because it wasn't turning out as good as I knew I can make one. So here we go, guys. This one I picked up from Karen's grandmother a couple years ago. But basically what I have here is a French bread that I cubed up the night before, and I allowed it to air dry to just get like a day old. To that we're going to be using some herbs and onions and stuff. Here I've got, it's going to turn out to be about a couple tablespoons each of sage, some savory, and thyme. I'm going to chop that up really fine. We're going to be using about a cup and a half. I have a huge onion here, so about a cup and a half diced onion. Got a couple of huge celery sticks here, so that will turn out to be again about a cup and a half or so. We're going to need a couple cups of chicken broth, as well as some butter. I'm guessing maybe about a stick of butter. But what we're going to do first, we're going to chop everything up here and get it prepared, and then we're going to get to actually preparing the stuffing itself for the oven. We're going to need some salt, we're going to need some black pepper, but stay with me guys, I'll show you guys exactly step by step how we're going to do this. In a fairly big saucepan here on a medium heat, I added 1 stick of butter, and to that I added the onions as well as the diced celery. I'm going to allow that to cook for about 4 or 5 minutes until it goes translucent. Then I'm going to add the herbs, which I already prepared by chopping it up very finely, to the pot. Allow that to go another 3-4 minutes. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt, about a teaspoon of black pepper, freshly ground black pepper, and then after that I'm going to add about 2 cups of the chicken broth to this. Let it heat up for another couple of minutes, and then we're going to put everything together with the bread and everything else. I've now added just about everything into the pot here that we spoke of earlier. All the herbs, the salt, pepper, onion, celery. Now the last thing I'm going to do here in this pot, I'm going to add a couple cups of chicken broth and then bring it up to temperature, back to a sort of a gentle simmer, and then we're going to add it to the day-old bread that we've already cubed up. Just going to give that a stir and then bring it up to temperature, and we're going to set everything in place for making the stuffing. I've poured the mixture into a huge bowl here with all the bread cubes of bread that we have. I'm just going to give that a good toss, and then right beside it I have a baking dish here that's been buttered. I'm going to, after I mix this, pour it into here, and then we're going to stick it in the oven at 370 degrees for about 45 minutes or so. You may want to cover it at first, and the last 15 minutes remove the sort of tin foil that you may cover it with, and for it to be nice and toasted and golden brown on top. This is all set for the oven now, 370 degrees for about 45 minutes, and then you'll have one of the best tasting stuffing you've ever had in your life. You'll say goodbye to those prepackaged things forever. Trust me on this one, guys. Hey guys, I just took it out of the oven. It's been in the oven there for about 45 minutes or so. The top is nice and toasted. It's one of the best. I bet it's going to be one of the best stuffing you'll ever have. Enjoy, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up.